and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of... I thought that chairlift thing would be cooler. That was pretty whack. Welcome to Emo Kids Anonymous. I'm your host, Rob LaFoon. Unfortunately, my co-host, Amanda, could not be here, but we got a hell of an episode ahead for you. This is one of my favorite interviews we've ever done. Joe and Kieffer from Tequila Mockingbird. Now, you guys say oomphs? These have been oomphs of mine on Twitter for a while. They have come up on the show repeatedly. We have spoken about the Goblin Zone, which was Kieffer's old house, in multiple interviews. Our current house, my bad. This band has been discussed a lot. When I brought up to No Problemo about how fat Dane's baby was, that was Joe Mockingbird who made me ask that question. This was a great time. We talk about the scene now. We talk about DIY, house venues. We talk about their new record that came out fucking today that absolutely rips, and so much more. Before we get to that, though, do us a favor, check us out, on the internet down here. We got Discord, subscribe to the pod, all that. That'd be awesome. Emo Kids Anonymous got a ton of cool episodes. NeverPhaseNetwork.com. Cool stuff there as well. Check it out, okay? I would really appreciate that. And as always, this episode is brought to you by our pals over at Brotegé. The bros at Brotegé, okay? Now, you go over to Brotegé.com, you enter Emo Kids at checkout, you get your first bottle for only $10. Brotegé. It's all-in-one face serum. Takes your face from fucky to fresh, okay? It worked for Gabe Support. It worked for me. It'll work for you, okay? And after you get that first bottle, you go back to Brotegé.com the next month when you need another one. You enter Rob40 every goddamn month after that. You get 40% off, okay? Okay? I'm passing savings on to you, okay? Now, with all that being said, here's my interview with Tequila motherfucking Mockingbird.
I had a dream where you died, and at the funeral shine and cry. I fought demons just to revive me.
Yeah, we had like a lot of New Jersey and Massachusetts bands lately. It's like, this feels comfortable to me, This feels more at home, a place I've never been in my fucking life, but...
Oh, dude, that's how it feels like. Everyone likes Michigan, mostly because there's really cheap weed here.
That's sick.
I think I've seen Sweet Pill. I've seen Sweet Pill like 3 or 4 times, and every single time Zaina mentions, like, you guys have really cheap weed here right in the middle of the set. It's very funny.
Yeah, it's always been a big deal for bands that would come through my house touring. They would stock up on weed while they were in town. Like almost every time I had a band from Wisconsin specifically, the Wisconsin bands would be all like, what are the good dispensaries to go to around here because we need to stock up.
You show up 3 hours after doors, stock up on weed, leave 2 hours after the set.
No, not even 2 hours. Most of them leave like 30 minutes after their set.
Well, it's because they actually have like work, and they would come in on sometimes fucked up days. So
yeah,
they would
I have them coming through on like Wednesdays to do one-offs as support. I'd be like, hey, Emily, do you want to be local support for this gig that you're not from Michigan for? Come on, come hang.
Yeah.
And it worked. It worked. That's the crazy thing.
I say often that weed is like the one thing that like has not been the victim of like inflation at all. Like I remember I got like even not even just buying weed off the streets, but like I remember going to dispensaries in California, like in San Diego in like 2009. You'd be paying like $60 for an hour. Like look at this one's getting us in fucking trouble. I like it. YouTube's not gonna say anything. Yeah, we're deep enough into it. But hold on a second. I'm gonna roll a stick over.
Oh no, dude.
I didn't realize it was recording already.
No shit, we recording.
All right,
like,
so weed's the one thing that's gotten cheaper. Like I remember buying eighths for like $60. I got a whole ounce delivered to me for $60 today.
Oh wow,
Delivered
like DoorDash?
Delivered to my door in like a fucking, the guy's always in like an Audi or a BMW, at worst like a nice Prius. Like it's a fancy setup. I don't know how they're making money off this shit. It's gotta be money laundering, which I'm for.
It's got to be like partial YouTube content creation, right, to supplement the loss of income,
right? Yeah, I don't know, there's something going on there, but I guess first we should tell these people who you are. Who is Tequila Mockingbird here?
I guess it would be, in theory, that's me, right?
Loaded question, yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like you've been referenced a lot on the show in general. So like,
we've been around. I'm Joe. I'm the guitar player and the vocalist for Tequila Mockingbird. I started the project in 2020 by learning guitar because I was drumming forever, and then I went, well, you can't really write songs if you drum. And I was like 20 during the pandemic, and I was like, if I don't start now, I don't know.
Sick.
So yeah, So I started learning through there, and then I was like a solo acoustic emo for or whatever. I don't know. Genres don't
That was
matter
like 2
anymore.
years, like 2 years of the
2.5
lifespan.
years, and then it just got to the point where when you're like acoustic, straight up, people just don't respect you. Not like the other bands, like they were
No, no,
always
no,
nice.
no, no, no. I get what you mean.
It's like
Like
the crowd.
venues and the crowd. Yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
tougher. You're not held in the same regard for certain reasons.
So I remember there was one day where we were playing the same city. We were both playing Ann Arbor, which is where the University of Michigan is. There's some bands from there, but college town.
Yeah.
And like I opened and legitimately 5 people were there, and it was 2 of my friends, but the other 3 people were talking over me. And then I never do this. Like I stayed the whole night for every single show. It's just like a
I
principal
stayed
thing.
the whole night.
I always do. But like that was the first time ever. I was like, yep. And I took my guitar case, walked out, drove to the other show that Kieffer's current band was playing at the time, and drove there immediately and told them, "Yeah, I'm done with this." I was like, "I
Sick.
cannot do this anymore."
You're like, I'm
So
done.
then,
You get like, it's hard. You can't fucking take over the room in the same way. Like on like a scientific level. Like you're
I
not
tried.
loud enough by yourself. Like you have to
I
fucking
tried.
be
I was pretty loud.
obnoxious.
I strummed really hard. But
I'd be hitting
I
that
tried.
shit.
I remember there's multiple times where I would just yell over people talking, like sing louder. It's pretty funny. But yeah, there's a couple iterations of the band that have gone on since then. But I always wanted to just do 3-piece. And then I don't know. Our current drummer is a firefighter. That's why he's not here. By the way,
Yeah,
he's probably
that's
like
sick. Yeah.
He's probably
saving
asleep right
cats.
now.
He's either asleep or maybe saving cats from trees. I don't know.
Or shooting for the calendar. They do calendars, right?
I think.
I would buy a calendar with Maverick on it.
Yeah,
Oh my
I'm
God,
gonna need
Maverick
one
with
of
the
those.
cat.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Maverick's is built. He's a built man. But yeah, and I think I don't know. Kieffer was like one of the first people I'd asked because we had already been in a band together that I was a drummer for, and they were the lead vocalist for.
What was
And
his band?
The
it was
band was
called
called
Dear Heretic.
Dear Heretic.
Yeah.
It was
post-hardcore. It was post-hardcore.
It was like our introduction to the scene. Actually, like deep lore for Tequila goes that the first Dear Heretic show we played was at a venue called the Church of Elvis Presley, and
Yep.
Joe was opening that show. So we had a different drummer at the time, and Joe auditioned at that show, and I met Joe at that show. That was like the day I met Joe. And like 2 months later, we needed a new drummer and like posted about it, and Joe DM'd us. And at first we were like, I don't know, because he lived like 45 minutes away, and we
I
wanted to
live an
practice,
hour
like,
away.
we wanted to practice like twice a week, and we weren't sure if we wanted him to ask him to drive out that much, but he was just down to clown. So then Joe drummed for us for a while, and in that time, eventually I ended up on bass in Tequila.
Yep, pretty much.
So we had already been in a band together before I joined Tequila, and I was pretty much just for the longest time Joe's like #1 supporter, biggest fan, like front row at all of his shows, singing all his songs. Even before once he went full band, the actual first full band Tequila show ever was a Charmer cover set that happened in my garage, and I didn't even play it. It was a different bassist.
I definitely did. That was when I started noticing I was doing permanent vocal damage from 2 different things. But that was the first night where I was like, "Ooh, something wrong happened," because I kept pushing my voice. For those of you who don't know, screaming improperly and singing really high in your register can equally fuck up your voice. Just need to let you guys know that.
Yeah,
I mean, we like,
I learned the
you know,
hard
we're rock
way.
fans. We're rock fans. We love hearing people sing really high. You know, I got a Hill the Sun shirt on. I was just listening to Circus Survive. We love hearing that boy hit the high notes. But
yeah. Shout out Anthony Green.
Shout out Anthony Green. He's still kicking, right?
Getting that bag. Yeah, the Circus Survive's back.
Yeah, after like 2 years.
Yeah. It's
Good
short,
hiatus, guys.
I mean, I'm excited about it. I like Circus Survive. Love that band. But yeah, there's been like a couple iterations, but yeah, it started as a Charmer cover set, and then occasionally I started working some of the old songs into full band songs, and some of the ones that were like acoustic cuts originally that I didn't record, I would end up doing with the band. Somewhere in between then, when I was still an acoustic act, I had like an Instagram reel pop off, get like like 500,000 views. So that's what probably most people still know me for. They know me as the guy who did the Crunchy Numbers song. And that song's okay. It's all
Yeah,
right. It's all right.
it was for an original.
Yeah. And it
Sick.
was before the song was out, so it was like
Sick.
demoed because I knew it was good, and then I released it, and then it started blowing up, and then I didn't have it out on streaming, and I realized like I fucked up big
You
time.
fucked up. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, damn,
Yeah.
like, okay. You
Yeah.
mentioned the Church of Elvis Presley. This is like,
Yeah.
this has been mentioned a lot. Is there also the Hog House? I think
The House of
That's a
Blend.
new one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like the new one.
and the Goblin Zone.
Yep, that is Kieffer Goblin Zone right there.
That is my house.
Yep.
So
They
you live
did,
in
like-
in the Goblin Zone.
Yes.
Yeah, I own the Goblin Zone. I own that.
Every Tequila Mockingbird practice is in the Goblin Zone.
Yeah, we wrote the
Damn.
album here.
It's a garage. it's a garage and a house.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, like
Property ownership. Hell yeah.
Progression of like house venues in Lansing is kind of funny because like Lansing's been like forever kind of underground home base for Michigan.
Yeah, you guys have a
DIY
per
even
capita.
before-
You might.
Hot Mulligan started in the UP and then started claiming Lansing after they moved down. So
Yeah,
Damn,
like
they're fake Lansing.
Lansing just kind of has a
I'm fake
history
Lansing.
of-
I'm from Detroit.
Yeah. I live in Lansing. I claim Lansing as my hometown. I went to high school 15 minutes from Lansing, but all we did was come to Lansing to hang out. So I fully claim Lansing. But even before, like pre-COVID, Lansing had a really successful like DIY scene and music scene. There were a few legendary venues like, I'm going to name drop them. Don't go here anymore. Fuck the owner. He's a piece of shit. But Max Bar, absolutely pre-COVID, was an iconic venue.
Yep.
Every single legendary Michigan band you know of got their start playing Max Bar. Lot of Spew,
Okay.
Bear vs. Shark, name them. They started at Max Bar. And like COVID happened and it kind of killed the music scene. So in 2021, or really late 2020, like after COVID restrictions lifted a little bit, it kind of started to revive a little bit. I had a friend, my roommate, I can actually hear him in the other room right now. My roommate and my best friend had this band called Harper, and they were playing a few shows, and they met Gavin, who you've had on the show from No Problemo.
Dude.
They met Gavin through a skate park. A mutual friend that Alec had a skate park. And Gavin was like, oh, well, me and a couple guys just moved into a house and we're thinking about starting to throw shows. You should come and play our first show. Before Harper was able to play that show, Harper broke up. I bought the Goblin Zone, moved to Lansing. Me and my best friend and my roommate Sean over there started Dear Heretic. And then we played like the second Church of Elvis Presley show. And that was like July of 2021. And that was really when like the scene around here started to revive and kind of get a big boost. So the church started around like June or July 2021.
Okay.
And like the first few shows, I'm gonna name drop this and you're gonna be like, what, really? Like the first show at the Church of Elvis Presley was like Corduroy Pants, Dad Cap's final boss fight. And then the second one was like Tequila Mockingbird, Dear Heretic, Dad Cap's, Corduroy Pants. And then like the third one would have been, or maybe not the third one, maybe like the fifth or sixth one would have been like Dad Cap's, Saturdays at Your Place, someone else. Just like a bunch of the big bands, we all were playing the church early on. And eventually the church said that they were going to all move out. They were going to end the lease. So the venue was going to die. And I was like, well, if the church dies, the scene dies. Because to be honest, it was the only place at the time anybody was playing.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'll start up a venue. So I opened the Goblin Zone. And then I ran the Goblin Zone from 2020. It started December 2021 and ended April 2024.
It's a pretty iconic venue.
Was it April 2025?
I don't remember.
2025, right?
Yeah,
sorry. It was December 2023. Sorry, not 2021. I was like, there's no way I did have 4 years.
No,
It was like,
no.
and I ran it, and then I announced that I was gonna I was going to close the venue, and that spawned like 3 new Lansing venues, which was kind
Yeah.
of the goal for me. Was like, yeah, if I end the venue now, maybe other people will open up their own venues. So then the House of Glen started, which is kind of like the successor. It kind of like the like staple Lansing house venues went from like Church to Goblin Zone to now House of Glen, which is like
and then House of Glen will run for like 2 years, and then it'll break up, and then we'll get another.
Or they'll move, house venues have a lifespan of about 2 years.
I was gonna say, give me 2 seconds, real quick. I gotta go. Stop the.
Hey, what's up, brother?
All I'm going to say is Amanda's not here. So check Rob's hard drive, check Rob's fridge. Not because I think he like killed Amanda and put him in her fridge, just because you can still stuff from people's fridge, and like there's not really a lot of repercussions with that.
Wait, Joe, I'm going to tell you something while he's not here. Are you ready?
I'm pretty sure that this will still be. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so House of Glen. House of fucking.
In the interim, there have been a few smaller house venues that have popped up and done like 2 or 3 shows.
Yeah.
Like Dear Heretic, with Joe as our drummer, we played our first show at a house venue called the Hobbit Hole. And it was oh my god. To this day, the smallest venue I've ever played. I'm not kidding. This is like an 8, I'm not joking, 8 feet deep by like 6 feet wide concrete room, and it's only like 6 feet tall. Yeah, and it's only like 6 feet tall. It's the smallest venue we've ever played. And it was packed, crammed. People were moshing.
It was like a fucking degrees down there.
Torture room, yeah.
It was crazy.
Drum riser was a pallet, not with like stuff on top of it, with the whole
just a straight flat pallet, like with the fucking.
One time I'm playing,
were like falling through.
Yeah, you gotta like really line up the fucking legs on the drum kit on there. Yeah.
Yeah, I did, and I did super fast fills and shit like that. I listened to too much early Rise Against and post hardcore when I was growing up. Like I play fast, and so like my profusely sweating, my hands are moving over. It was awful, and then I fall on my ass because the throne falls through the pallet, man. It was
there was another house venue that popped up that did like 2 shows, and Joe, you're gonna really love talking about this right now. You're gonna be so hyped when you hear what I said. There's a house venue called the Greenhouse, and it is historic because
the Glow House.
The Greenhouse, Joe. The Greenhouse hosted a historic Lansing event called Clownfest, which was the single drunkest event I've ever been to in my life. Everybody was shit-faced by 7 p.m. and it was still light out because it was like August. I'm not kidding. Joe Joe came to my house and we carpooled there together, and I thought it was a good idea to buy canned White Russians that were like 13.5% ABV, and I
didn't know they made canned White Russians.
It was, they do. They're called Cutwaters.
They're called Cutwaters. 3 of them. I drank like 3 of them before 7 p.m. I was so black out. Oh my god. Also, I let them be room temperature. I was drinking room temperature canned White Russians.
I don't want to throw anyone under the bus because this person.
I was gonna say it, but you gotta tell.
But this person's usually very responsible. Like out of all the Lansing members, it's one of the people you would expect the least. 6 p.m. drunk, shirtless, doing push-ups. Just it was
in the garage, just like 6 of us surrounding him, cheering him on. Just 6 p.m. The show hasn't even, it's not even doors yet, and we're all so drunk. At one point, I like pass out on the grass, just laying flat, and a bunch of people come over and lay next to me and start taking pictures with me. And I wake up and I sit up and I just look around and I'm like, Joe. So I get up and I go to find Joe, and Joe is just in the garage, like back in a corner, tucked in a chair, just like.
Yeah, I was asleep. I was sleeping.
And I walked up to him and I woke him up and I was like, "We need to go right now."
It was so funny because we were walking back to Kieffer's car. Kieffer was the one who drove me to the show.
I drove him in. I was like, "Joe, you have to drive us home, dude."
And I was like, "Okay, sure." And we walked like, I don't know, 15 feet. And Kieffer's like, 1 second.
We didn't get out the driveway before I threw up.
In some random person's yard.
No, I threw up in the driveway first, and then I was like, okay, let's go. And we walk around the corner. We get 2 houses down. In the middle of the yard, I just fucking throw up all over this random person's yard. And Joe turns around and looks at me and was like, did you just throw up in some random person's yard? And I was like, yeah, we gotta go, dude.
No, yeah, that was one of the most legendary venues or legendary sets I can ever think of.
Clownfest, right? I'm understanding this Clownfest.
It was called Clownfest, yes.
Shout out Molly, the fucking goat, for putting on Clownfest. We love you, Molly. You are the greatest. Molly from Knife Fight Booking, which is a Lansing staple. They're also.
I'm so intrigued by Clownfest.
There was another house venue.
Bad. It was so bad.
And did shows, but it wasn't in Lansing proper. It was in East Lansing, but also the Shire, which was run by Molly and was the No Problemo house for a long time.
I was going to say the Shire I've heard of, yes.
The Shire is pretty integral to the Lansing scene. East Lansing and Lansing, while they're different cities, are pretty interconnected. The scenes really are the same scene for the most part, except that the East Lansing scene is a good bit younger.
Well, it's a college town. It's where Michigan State is. So sometimes you will get shows where you play on Halloween and 200 kids pack a place that they shouldn't be in, and they don't really care about any of the bands. And those are the shows that my autistic ass hates.
I was gonna say that's either a great time or the worst.
Oh, it's bad.
They turn into more of a party than a show a lot of the time.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, and it depends on the night, you know.
Like how? Like they're not paying attention to you guys? They're just fucking like.
Well, they're there. They don't mind the music, but like once it's like 9 and they're gonna go to another house, they're just out there. Like they're in and out.
And a big thing that happened.
Okay, I get you.
We'll raid the fridge. So put any drinks out. Yeah.
Damn. A big thing that happened at the Shire was that because the show was in the basement, a lot of the times, like, people just wouldn't be down there while bands were playing, and they'd all be, like, upstairs and outside, and they'd be, like, partying.
Yeah, they're smoking cigarettes. Yeah, they're sitting outside talking. Yeah,
that happened more often than I would like it to have happened at the Shire.
But, like, that's whatever.
I don't think there's anything anybody could have done about it, either. I think it was just the crowd that came out, that people wanted to party. They weren't as interested in seeing music.
And probably the thing is that they probably still made fans that night. So at the end of the day, it was like a positive experience.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you're getting something, but is like you're talking about house venues having like a few year like lifespan. Is the issues more so just the headaches that come with it, or like we were talking like Tori, like she got shut down by like the police, you know? But is it just people fucking up your house? You got over it?
It is the police too. Even if you have neighbors that are super cooperative, okay, so like Kieffer did like 85 to 90% of the work, and I would just like be there to like help them pack up, close up shop. So we've gone through it. Like we would just sit there and debrief for 30 minutes after every Goblin Zone.
Largely I find there's like,
it was not police most of the time. Sometimes it was. The issue is that like you can only have 200 mostly strangers show up in your house. And you know what I mean? You can only have that happen so many times before.
Yeah. I used to throw some pretty decent parties when I was younger, and like iPods, weed, fucking money, like things just people going in my room. Like it's like if I can't really have fun if I need to be like patrolling the whole night. Then like, why the fuck am I doing this?
Yeah, Kieffer totally took up that mantle. They would spend most of the time just making sure that the house didn't collapse and barely seeing the
probably did like 5 or 6 miles every Goblin Zone just walking around. I find there's largely like 3 things that kill a house venue. There's moving / monetary expenses.
Leases ending or something.
Right. Leases end, you break up with your partner and move out, or you both move out. Things like that happening tend to kill house venues a lot. That's why the Shire ended, because the people who lived there all moved into separate places to live. And the Shire lived about 2 years. There's drama that kills house venues. Homeowner gets canceled. I've seen some house venues in other states end because the homeowner died.
Yeah, unfortunately that happens.
Recently, which was
like
really
old
unfortunate.
homie owns the house and he rents it out, and then he dies, and then like the daughter takes over, the son takes over some shit and kind of fucks it up.
Yeah, stuff like that. And then 3, the shows get too good.
Yep.
And that's what happened to the Goblin Zone for me personally, was that I genuinely could not throw a show at my house without a minimum of 100 people coming.
Look,
And
you might think it's like
it used to be not so bad because it used to be that like it'd be like 60 to 80 people and I knew everybody. It was like a recurring fan base. We knew everyone. It got to a point where every show I did, it was 100 people and 60 to 70% of them I had never seen before. Brand new faces. And it just was too much to do in a house. And it took a major, I mean, I didn't really suffer that much damage to the house. I do suspect that towards the end, somebody was sabotaging my plumbing because every show I did, something went wrong with both of the bathrooms. So I do suspect that somebody towards the end of the lifespan started sabotaging the plumbing a little bit.
Some weirdos just go in there and like flushing like the cardboard in the toilet paper roll type shit.
I have a direct suspicion of who it is, so I'm not going to name drop anybody and start drama.
Is it someone from No Problemo? Because they seem a little fucked up to me.
No.
Dude, I was just saying that animal Dane. I don't think it's on purpose. I think he eats the Wendy's wrappers with the burger.
No, that interview is insane because like they all came off so fucking poorly. Like I know.
I loved it. No, I literally
it was crazy.
Like I have a like reoccurring. It's not even a joke where it's like people will ask like I'll get DM or it's like, how do we come on the show? And it's like the way you come on the show is like one of us has to fuck with you, one of the bands that we like has to fuck with you, or No Problemo. Like that's like an automatic fast pass. Like if you like Dane like hits me up and he's like, I got this thing, the bald. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck the bald is, but you can come on. I was like, I don't know what that is.
You genuinely got fucking scammed.
It was incredible. No, it was the most fun, maybe the most fun, weird motherfucker. Just like I'll be talking, they're pulling out like didgeridoos and trumpets and just like he's got fucking fake like incredible. Like no, if you're that's you guys hit most of them. I was like, okay, I've seen you guys interact with bands like Fuck With Hard, like Kerosene Heights. I've listened to you. I like this shit. And No Problemo, automatic. Yeah. From the line.
But also to touch briefly before we move off the topic of why house venues end. So yeah, my venue just got like largely why I wanted to end it. I could have dealt with the other stuff. But it did get just too big. Like my average was like 150 people. I had a ton of space. My garage is really big. I'd open up both doors, have my front yard, my driveway. It worked really well, but it just too much. And then there's also something that happened, and I'm sure other bookers and people in positions like I've been have experienced this. A lot of people kind of start to look at you as the leader or like the community head of your scene when you are running like the biggest booking company or the most powerful in your city, whatever. If you have the most booking back, people just look at you like that. And I also made a real habit at the Goblin Zone of instilling myself as part of the experience of going there. I would interact with everybody who showed up in some way. Talk to them. I used to hand out stickers like by hand. I'd hand everybody a sticker when they showed up. And like people just knew me and I kind of became a face. And I started becoming like, I had to start like mediating really intense personal dramas between people because they reach out to me and say, hey, this person is going to the Goblin Zone. I don't want to see them there. They're one of my abusers. And I don't want to just not, it's my duty to keep that space safe for everybody. And to hold people accountable. So, you'd have to step in and make a decision and interact. And it got me in hot water with a lot of situations. And I lost a lot of friends. And it was just a lot, that was something to deal with for sure. But like I said, I would have been able to manage all of that if the house venue didn't get so big. If it stayed to where it was like 60 to 80 people coming to every show, it would have been fine. But with 200 people, that's a lot more often that drama is creeping into your personal life.
Oh yeah.
It was just too much.
To be clear, the biggest like Harrison Gordon TikTok ever was the Kirby Downbeat one. That garage, that's Kieffer's garage.
Sick.
That's my garage, filmed by Owen from Final Boss Fight. Shout out Owen
what's the Final
Fedorka.
Boss Fight now?
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
What? I mean, obviously, I know about like the lead and stuff like that, but like, what is in the fucking water up there where this so much shit is going on here? Like, what is the recipe?
Water. It's not in the water. This is something we are proud of. This is work that people like me and Joe and Gavin and Sage and have put into the scene to instill this type of ethos amongst the crowd. We work really hard to show up for the bands, not just book them, you know. We work hard to promote them, we mosh for them, we sing for them, we do collabs with them. I mean, at my house, at the Goblin Zone, you saw me crowd surfing every show at some point. Or mic grabbing, or doing a feature, or whatever. Every show, you know, we'd show up for the bands, we just made a habit of being the people who went the hardest for the bands, and because people saw the bookers doing it, they knew it was acceptable to act like that, and be themselves, and behave how they want. And it's just the culture around here, you know? It's just how everybody acts now. We've done it. It started at the Church of Elvis Presley, when me and Joe wore front row for dad caps, screaming our fucking heads off, and then moshing in a tiny living room with 25 people, to turning into the equipment show I had at the Goblin Zone, where they quite literally, there were so many crowd surfers, they tore the lights down in my garage, and I had to repair the light system at the equipment show.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That was a crazy one.
That's the most beautiful shit I've ever heard. I think that's how, like, on some grassroots political bullshit or something, like, that's how shit happens. It's not fucking a media like this or that. It's not fucking the Hot Topic or the fucking magazines or the fucking, you know, like, oh, I got booked at Fest. It's not, it's like, you need to cultivate this scene. I've lived in LA for 15 years. And when I moved here and started playing music here, like, I lived in buttfuck Canada, where there was a very united scene, probably similar thing. And San Diego was pretty good, but like, there's no community here like that. There's very small pockets of them, but you had to know where they were. It's too big of a place, and everyone's out for themselves. And at the shows, it's like this cross-arm bullshit. Like, I'm not there. You know what I mean? Like, you guys don't have that there. That's fucking sick.
No, you can't. I mean, like, I don't know how else to say it. Michigan's like a comfortable place, but it's also a pretty, like, relatively drab place to live. A lot of income disparity. 80% of the state is legitimately just nothing. But the pockets of stuff are very densely populated. But people just want something to do. And I don't know what it is. Like, it's just Midwest culture and like the whole Detroit Rock City thing. Like, I don't know. It's just like, we go hard. We'll drive 2 hours across the state to go see a band. They'll be like in Grand Rapids, or drive an hour to go to Lansing, or drive 2 hours to go to Detroit. Like, everyone's just like connected and unified to be like, okay, yeah, we'll go watch blank band.
That's so fucking. It's
a pretty special thing.
I love that shit so much. And you can tell to the point. I mean, like, I've had so many bands from just Michigan on the show, like, not even tied into you guys. The youngest band we've ever had on this show is these kids, Rec League, and they're in Muskegon. And it was just like, they came and like they went to a local show and they got into it, and like they're playing, and it's like, even if that's a different town, like, this shit, like, y'all are working to cultivate, like, that pays off outside of your, because then the bands start playing there, and if they're from those other towns, they're like, fuck, like, they bring that energy over there. People go there. Like, that's, I don't know. Well, if I was the president, I'd give you fucking medals, but
my ethics,
I haven't done enough fucked up shit to get that job.
My ethics for music started relatively quickly when I started going to shows, because the first, like, live show I ever went to, I was like a gigantic Rise Against fan in my teens.
What years are we talking here?
It's 2015. It's 2015, maybe 2016. And
2010 Rise Against.
Okay. I want to see them so bad. So it's before they become really bad, because right now they're really bad. But I wanted to see them. And my dad drove me to Chicago because they didn't have a Michigan date, so just went to Chicago. Sometimes that happens, man. In Michigan, cost benefit analysis, it's sometimes not worth it. But so we drove to Chicago, and the opening band, I don't know if you know who this band is. They're back now. They're called Let Live.
I'm familiar with Let Live. Period. Yeah.
Lead singer Jason Butler's a maniac, and I had never seen anything like that before. A guy flying around on stage, jumping into the crowd. I had never seen that, and like the screaming
Sick.
and everything. I was freaking out about it. I was like, "What is this?" And then like in
How old are
between
you?
one of the
You're
songs,
like 15, 16?
yeah, yeah. This is the first live show I've actually been to that
Damn.
is like, I don't know,
Okay.
the Wiggles when I was 2. And
Yeah.
then in between the songs, Jason goes, "Oh yeah, 8 years ago I was diagnosed with terminal cancer. So now I live every day like it's my last and appreciate every moment that you have." And I was like, "I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know what this is." And it just resonates with you on such a personal level. I was like, "Holy shit." And then later in the night, this is also crazy too. When Rise Against was playing Give It All, the power cut out during like the bridge, and the crowd sung the rest of the song into completion. Like
Damn.
sang the rest of the song into completion with like you see that moment of like unified love and appreciation for each other. And like I was like, I don't know how the fuck I am gonna do this, but I
That's
gotta do this.
church
Like,
shit.
are you
Like that's
kidding
like
me?
that's I
It
was
was like
talking to someone on here that was
a religious
religious, and I was like, that fills your God hole. It's like the same thing, like this
yeah.
commute, you're like, oh shit, like yeah.
Yes.
Believing in
And
rock and
then
roll
like
is less dumb even. Yeah, I'm for
And
it.
then, like, right after that, I was like, "I don't know what the fuck this is," because I played Guitar Hero and Rock Band all the time, so I'd learned what post-hardcore was through that. Um, and then
Sick.
kind of, but, like, okay, this is also funny. So I learned about, like, Let Live and stuff, and I think I listened to At the Drive-In Relationship because I heard of One Arm Scissor, and then, like, oh my god, you listen to Art Arsenal for the first time, blows your damn mind. And then I went on a music forum called Sputnik Music, and my 15, 16-year-old ass goes,
Fucking
"What
music.
It's an old ass website." Yeah, I know.
No,
And I was like, "What music sounds like this?" And I just posted like 3
oh,
albums
you're one of those sweet kids that you'll see on like
that
Reddit
got
emo right
canceled.
now. That's
Yep,
like, yeah,
yep,
like I like
yeah.
mom jeans. Like,
But
what else is
I got
there? Yeah.
200 responses, and it's Sputnik Music, guys. They're not giving you like Silverstein. They're telling you go listen to Drive Like Jehu and
Sick.
Unwound.
Shout out San
And
Diego. Yeah.
so I went straight into the deep end of the pool. I
Fuck yeah.
I, I know more about like Bear versus Shark and like the Fall of Troy more than I knew about like Silverstein. I only listened to Silverstein for the first time in like last year.
Right? Yeah. I'm a bad half Canadian. I think I've heard like 3 Silverstein songs. I don't know. Yeah.
What about Alexis on Fire? You
Alexa on
rocking with
Fire was
greatest
sick.
band in the world?
Alexa on Fire was a
Yeah,
band that like I heard them in Canada, and then I had to like, cause my dad, I lived in San Diego too, so then I went down there and I was like, you guys go check out this band.
yeah,
I just heard this, whatever. And then like they're massive in like in Canada, they're an arena band, and I
yes.
went and saw them here at the Wiltern in LA for like $6 the night the Raptors won the NBA Finals. And I was like, this is such a special moment. Like, you guys, as a Canadian kid, I'm like, oh, like, this is cool. It's cool. And it's like, $6? What the fuck?
You say $6? $6. I'm trying to think of the cheapest show that I went to,
Yeah. And
and
this
it
is like
was.
2019 too. This is like an
I was gonna
insane,
say
yeah.
around 2019, the year that Anne Boleyn comes back, and they come back from the comeback day of the show. I like woke up like an hour before. I like napped, and I looked, and it was $5 tickets, and I was like, "Fuck it, I want to go see Feel Good Drag."
Right. Yeah.
And they played like for an hour and a half, and played like every song you would have wanted to hear. Crowd was very weird though, because they're like, they're Christians, so
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
don't
No,
mosh.
yeah. Yeah. Bit of a,
They don't
yeah. They're
mosh.
kind of walk that line. Yeah.
They don't mosh. But they sung the words. You knew that they were a Christian band because the drummer had like the bulletproof glass around them, like we're at worship.
Yeah. The Charlie Kirk protection ready. Yeah.
Oh no! Oh
Wow.
no! But
Yeah.
sometimes the Christians in the mid 2000s could riff. Remember "Meant to Live"? The
It was
Switchfoot song?
it was
That's a
the
riff.
whole, another San Diego band. No, like that's when I
Really?
grew up. Where I lived in Canada, if you wanted to play a show, you had to be a Christian band. Like we would all like, none of us were Christian, but like there was kids that like there was
Just
religious kids,
lie.
but like yeah, we'd have to like, I remember like playing like these guys that like played like Metallica covers at at the show, and like they like were in the cafe like like and he's like rewriting the songs like Eric Cartman style, like swapping out Baby for Jesus kind of thing. Like if it mentions something dark, I remember we did a cover of Alkaline Trio, Blue in the Face, and I like gave them he's like, this is really dark stuff here. Like, I don't know if you guys can do it. And I'm like, God, this sucks. But like, that's how you had to do it. Like if you're if you're in your mid 30s, there's like a 70% chance you found any sort of alternative music. Cause like Skillet and Reliant K were the only bands your parents would let you listen to. And then you found like Under Oath, and you were like, "Shit."
Under Oath, they got a few records in the mid 2000s. They're really good. One of the first shows I ever drove myself to was Under Oath when they came back off of their
chick
hiatus.
with the mask. I like. Remind me when this ends before you go. I have a Amber Lynn thing I can't say here, but is neat. But anyways,
I love that.
It's not anything bad. It's like a thing I can't leak. I'll get fucking yelled at. But
yeah.
So we got a new record coming out March 13th. It fucking rips.
Thank you.
I'm seeing, and it's like it's really cool. I feel like this record's going to be one of those moments where I feel like a lot of our community kind of gets behind certain records. You know what I mean? Like I think of like, I feel like
Red Sun.
I feel like when Blame It on the Weather came out, like it felt like kind of this moment online, or Parade or even like Charmer, like these moments where just people like kind of go crazy. Like I feel like your guys' shit is going to do that as well. It's very good.
Hope so.
We're hyped on it. What went into? How did we make this one? What was the process here?
Oh my God, it was like 2.5 years.
So
I was like full band work.
I'm a guitar player drummer. So I would do an acoustic demo, and then I would do a phone demo of me playing through the drums on the phone. iPhone quality for the drums, you can kind of make it out, but not much. So I would do guitars and drums, and then I would just bring them to the band. And I don't know if you paid attention, some of those songs structurally, they're pretty fucked up.
Yeah, they kind of bounce around. I like it. Yeah, like there's parts you're not expecting, kind of thing, which is like, to me, is like a solid.
Yeah.
Alternative bands should be doing that. You shouldn't be doing straight pop formulas on every fucking song, you know?
No, but sometimes you can do a pop formula. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
I would just bring
surprises
to whatever drummer we had. Eventually, it would be Maverick and Kieffer. And I would be like, this is the song. And then we would hash out certain like little details, the little sinew, the little like 1 or 2 bar phrases that happen in between your choruses, your verses, your whatever, that actually make the songs come to life. That half the time you don't even think about it until you're like covering the song, and then you go, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, right. There's the little passing chord in there. The little yeah. I remember random fucking comparison. I remember the first time like I learned how to play Beyonce Irreplaceable. I realized I was just like back in the day before your time, white boys would just kind of do ironic covers. Like you do that in the middle of the set, like people go crazy for that. It was a fucking easy cheat
they still do that. No, I had to do that. I was an acoustic cover set. What do you?
I was gonna say, you know how it goes. You gotta slip in something silly.
We for a while we stopped doing this. We did the Portal 2 Want You Gone song, which I still kind of want to do again because it translated really well. It almost gave me the Makes You Happy Michael Cera Palin vibe.
Cool.
But like I would just give them the songs, and like in my mind I can hear the whole song, like I can hear the melody, do whatever, except for bass. So the thing that I established with Kieffer is I looked them straight in the face because I knew they were a shredder. They're a very good guitar player. They're better than me at guitar. But when they're bassists, I just told them, okay, you can do whatever you want on bass, but if I don't like it, you got to change it. And we've never had that conversation about me not liking it. It seems like anytime I would do like boring chord stuff to just sing, a Kieffer would be like, it's my turn to be the lead. And I would just shrug and go, yeah, sure.
I play like a weird hybrid of like a lead type of bass on the album a lot of the time.
Sometimes.
There's a lot of moments where we have these big open choruses, but there's no lead instrument, and I can tell that it's a calling for a second lead line or something to complement Joe's vocals. So I lean into that a lot on the album, which I thought was really, really fun. Definitely, I think it lended well to my playstyle because I came from more of a lead guitarist background.
Yep.
Yeah, going from that to being you're like, shit, I can't just be hammering out root notes lined up with like playing with the bass kind of thing. Like
Yeah,
Oh no, and
Bruno's
I wouldn't have liked
boring.
that. I
I love
wouldn't
this
have
guy
liked.
Noodle.
There's an
I'm too much of
iconic
like a
argument I
yeah.
had in one of my bands where one of my bands and I was playing a song in one of the bands and they were like, just play the root notes. And I was like, I'm not playing the root notes. That's fucking boring.
Right? I'm the
I
motherfucker
was
Yeah,
that
like,
has
and
to
I
stand up here for
I'm not,
25
I was like, I'm
minutes.
not playing a fucking boring bass line. Let me cook.
yeah, and I'm not one to. I like I said, post hardcore. I love skate punk. So like a lot of that skate punk shit, especially like Lagwagon. Like, oh my god, those basses, they're dying.
Right? They're ripping, yeah.
They're ripping. So yeah, it was easy to do that. And then yeah, tracking the record, we did it in bits and pieces. I was there pretty much every day, but for the most part, all three of us weren't in the studio. We went to a guy called Adam. He did the Clipboards album. Um,
Okay, we know clipboards.
you
Michigan
know,
as well.
he did the Clipboards album. It's very, very highly produced. Um, and despite the fact that it's like just in his basement, and so we would bits and piece the record together piece by piece, and we had a lot of like a real life stuff happen. Like so, we started recording this probably February last year, and then over the course of it, like real life stuff would happen, or like mental health issues would happen, and we would just have to piece it
Chill for a
together.
second.
And there were times that I straight up just thought the record wasn't coming out. I really did. There was times where I was pretty crestfallen would be the right word about
Some
the
meals are made in microwaves, some meals are made in slow cookers, you know? I think that's
dude.
an old Michigan
And
saying.
next album, I swear to God, I needed to be in a microwave because this killed me. This killed me. Um,
There's like a
but
cohesion throughout it. It's wild that it takes so long, and it starts out like that, where it's like it feels like I'm listening to a full album kind of thing, you know? Like they
oh yeah,
feel like they
that's
belong
right.
together.
Yeah, 100%. And like all the structure on the album is done intentionally. The best way I would describe it is that you get the two status songs in the middle of the record at 4 and 5, and then the next song after it, Billions. The first lyric is "You saw me under duress, and that's a side I didn't want you to see." That was intentional.
Sick.
That's a lyric that references the previous two songs that you just
Sick.
heard, right? Like a mental
Yeah.
breakdown of the song before. It's stuff like that. So I put a lot of thought and effort into this because like I just think that's the right thing to do.
I was gonna say, yeah, just that's the way to do it. And as like just as a music nerd too, like the
Yep.
people are like, oh, album this and that. It's like that's the only people that don't appreciate albums are like the normies that don't, you know what I mean? Like you need them to buy tickets, you need them to stream your songs, but it's like I mean, I want an album, you want an album, like, you know,
We
like
all want album. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, like the singles technically do better, but one of the things that you have to understand is that like while the numbers on streaming help you get opportunities, they do not translate necessarily one to one to a
Mm-mm.
live fan base,
No.
and they definitely don't translate to longevity.
Mm-mm.
Um, they're like a perfect example of this. Hail the Sun. Now they are in a great spot. They're in the best spot they've been in their career. They never passed like the 500,000 monthly listeners threshold until like I don't know. I don't listen to them on Spotify. In my mind, their biggest songs are the ones that I love. But like like I've seen them so many times, and like they just were grinding. They were on the road 150 days out of the year, and just making albums and consistently there. And that's how really like that's how you get the longevity as a band. That you have a consistent fan base that'll show up to your
You're making
gigs.
real fans. There's especially like, you know, back in my day, whatever the fuck. God. You know, you buy an album, like there's an investment in it kind of thing. Whereas like if you're
Yes.
streaming something, it's like, yeah, oh, cool, open fire, cool. And then what does it matter beyond, you know, like I remember like when we
Yep.
first started the show kind of seeing it, like we booked a few bands that like I'd find on like TikTok or something. And I think like, oh, they're really big. That episode might do well. I'm like, they
No.
don't do well because those are people that are investing like 6 seconds in them. They're not going to invest an hour in them. Like they're, you know,
No.
it's not there.
Well, and the thing is that like making a quality album that people talk about is how you be perceived as an important band.
I think
Case
so.
in point, American football breaks up before their album comes out. It is word of mouth from people decades on. When I was a junior in high school, my English teacher told me about Cap and Jazz and American football because he was in a second wave band and played a show at Cap and Jazz, which is sick.
Sick.
But like it's the quality of the music that word of mouth will continue to spread and keep those albums ingrained in culture. Because if you watch as time goes on, the albums that are perceived as important are just straight up going to change.
Yeah.
As time goes on, they're straight up going to change. But the
I've
way
seen
to
it. I've seen it happen.
the way to keep a consistent fan base is to make quality music over an extended period of time. Um, and
What's
it,
what's
it
the
depends.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, what's the sauce there? Like when you're like as an artist, like making that album, having
Oh,
to
wait,
process, like kind of like because it's also the same thing where you're with singles, like you always have something to promote, this or that. The tough part is like an album is like your baby, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like you have a lot more
oh, yeah.
pride in it, and then it's out and it's like, fuck, we have to, like, that's the tough part too, like this social media bullshit world, like now I have to promote this, but in a month it's old news.
But like, it's also not, because out of nowhere, Japanese post-hardcore band Massive Fermenting Dregs' 2009 song pops off 15, 16 years
Mm-hmm.
later. It's like, it's so weird because like there are bands that you think would have TikTok hits that do not.
No.
And they're, you know what I mean? Like Thrice doesn't have a TikTok thing. You would
No.
think there'd be something. You'd think it'd be
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah.
but like,
I'm gonna try to get artists in the ambulance over. Yeah, we'll see.
Deadbolt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Double seems like the easy choice. Yeah,
Either Deadbolt or something crazy, some crazy ass riff off of Vishnu.
the issue.
Um,
Yeah,
e-
that was my favorite one.
Vishnu.
Yeah,
Even though Beggars is my favorite album of theirs, which is weird. Yeah, I didn't think I would love that one as much, but I just did. First time I heard it
Beggars
last
is
year.
tight. Yeah, I
It's
remember when that came out. It had like the weight and stuff. Like me and my
it,
buddies
it's
we're moving away from the Warped Tour thing. We're trying to be like cool indie
yeah.
guys, and that Thrice felt like was a good in between there.
It,
Whereas like this is
it's
cool.
like got like all the qualities that you would want in a blues rock album put in like a post hardcore package, and it's very like it's like a concept album and it's earnest and like, but you can hear the thought like what I think what makes an album, what makes me come back to an album is hearing the little conscious decisions that happen in whether or not it's the music or the lyrics. It's coming back and listening to an album and hearing another layer that you haven't heard before. Like Jimmy World's Clarity is a perfect example. I
Oh
keep
yeah.
hearing a new layer every few times I listen to that album. Um, there's a loud as fuck triangle in I think it's 10. And no. It's in For Me This Is Heaven or something like that. One of those songs. There's just a triangle and you hear it and it's so loud and it ruined the song for me for like 2 weeks because I kept just hearing the triangle. Um,
Wow.
but it's stuff like that that'll bring people back. It's not just making good album, it's having things for people to come back and see little details on. Like and
It's like a
I
comfort.
make
You're
sure that my lyrics are
describing
good.
almost like a comfortable sitcom or something like that, where it's like, yeah, it's like I can go back and rewatch this because I missed this, and it's like it feels like
Pretty
these are
much.
friends. You're with friends, like this is my. I love this
And then the
album.
lyrics are good. And then the lyrics are good. That's also gotta help for me. You know, I like stuff that just screams or whatever, you know, I'm a huge fan of that. But like if I can relate to the lyrics or I hear something, or sometimes you hear little details, like a lot of one of Jimmy World's calling cards is referencing other bands or doing
Yeah.
cute little nods and stuff. So there are moments on the record, the only people who watch this interview are gonna know this. I referenced my favorite song of all time, in Dead Dreams, the single that's coming out. Well, technically it's already out, but for us tomorrow, um, there's a lyric and it says, "A flower that you pulled the stem out and let wilt." That's a reference to "The Good Left Undone" by Rise Against, which is the
Wow.
verses, yeah, that and it's stuff like that. And the song titles, half of them are references to other bands. A lot like Mockingbirds is a reference to the band, a lot like Birds. Does It All Make Sense Now is a reference to a deep cut on at the Drive-Ins in Casino Out album, Lopsided. It's it's stuff like that. Little stuff that like if you care, you're gonna notice this stuff. Or like, sometimes it's just through osmosis of me just listening to a lot of music. Like on Sour Notes, there's that line, "I'm slow at times, but I'm not fucking stupid."
Goated.
And
Best line on the album.
what's funny? I realized I totally cribbed that song from my favorite Green Day song, which is "Stewart in the Avenue." And there's a lyric, "I may be dumb, but I'm not stupid enough to stay with you."
Mm-hmm.
And in my brain, I was like, I didn't even know it, but that influenced. I get moments like that a few times too, where I'm like,
I feel like that happens more than I remember like my brother and I like we would send songs back in the day to each other. I'd be thinking like, oh, I'm biting this, and he'd be like, you're just doing Sugar Ray in Mom's car, like you're just doing sugar, and I'm like, fuck, it is just Sugar Ray, god damn, you know, and I'm like I could try to dress it up and make it cool, but he's like, you're just doing it's still like, and it's like, yeah, that is, god damn it, yeah, it's still gonna be Sugar Ray or Sheryl Crow or something, because like that's what I was. And Blink, you know, Blink and Trio, Third Eye Blind, like Weezer, these
hard.
Then it becomes those things. Like as much as I'm like, oh, I want to make something like this, like you subconsciously like you have a culture, you have a heritage, basically.
Yeah, in my brain there are specific things that I have to do. Like as much as I love Midwest emo, I don't know if I can do multiple songs, and skate punk too, by the way. I don't know if I can do multiple songs without a chorus in a row. I think I need a
Yeah,
chorus.
like
Or a refrain. Something that repeats twice. Because I don't know, in my brain I'm just writing songs where I'm like, would I like this?
yeah, yeah.
Would I
This
like
is
this if I heard it?
interesting.
And then my thought process that I always have, this is like one of my other like songwriting things, is when I finish a song, I need a moment on the album where I go, okay, or I need a moment on every song where I go, okay, so what's the part that you're gonna come back to?
Mm-hmm.
And it could be just a cool riff that happens in the second verse. Can't tell you how many times there's just one cool little thing that I hear and I listen to the whole song again because, oh, this cool little syncopated
Yeah,
part.
yeah, I can
Yeah.
think of like backing vocal parts or something like I'll just keep going back to that song, even for like the woo in it or
Yep.
something. Like there's like a hidden, like it's not even the lead guitar part. It's just kind of like a they got some nice like chords layered in there where I'm like, okay, that's the shit right there.
Yeah. And it's like, so what part in the song are people going to come back to? And also, my other favorite thing, I love Rage Against the Machine. They do this on every song. Build up, huge build up, catharsis. You're paid off. You
Yes,
here's I like
you
Paramore
can't
quite a
edge without coming. Essentially, is the
I like Paramore quite a bit. The Brick by Boring Brick outro pisses me off so much because it does the ba da ba ba da ba ba da. It builds you up and then it just stops. There's nothing, and I'm like,
Wow,
no,
I forgot about that. Brand new
no.
eyes. I have an interview with tomorrow with someone from a semi big band from that era who's causing a lot of scene on TikTok right now for claiming they were better than Paramore, and I'm very excited to call him out on that.
Well, I don't know why we're arguing about who's better and who's not, because it's not like that's ever mattered in music.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
If the best bands of all time were the ones who were the most popular, we'd all be talking about Icarus the Owl right now, and no one even knows who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's multiple bands where I'm just like, this should have been the biggest band, and it's like I understand why it wasn't.
Team should be the biggest fucking band on the planet right now. Team should be the biggest band on the planet. Yeah, Team.
Team genuinely should be the #1 band in the world.
Cheem is the sickest. First off, I had them on here. I called them Keem.
Oh,
like the first, I felt so bad. It was like I'm like misgendering the whole band, and politely correct me. Oh yeah, like when we first started Cheem, I was like, that's what it is. Like you know, like fuck, my bad. But yeah, that band rips.
Crazy story about them. I found out about them in 2017 when I had one of their songs from Downhill on my new music weekly playlist. And I couldn't believe, one, that the band was that good and they were that small. But two, I was like, they're not signed to a label. I was like, how does this fall through the cracks? And this was them, and they're still in their mostly primordial stage. And I've been a fan of theirs, watching them, oh my God, evolve throughout the course of a decade. And they just keep evolving. They have figured out their sound, and it is so unique.
It's so good. I when I had them on, I was like, yo, straight up, like I feel like everything your band reminds me of individually, like I shouldn't like Cheem. Like it's like I didn't really fuck with like the Incubus style of new metal. Like
I was gonna say,
I'm like they got turned. I'm like, I don't think I'd like this, but I'm like, this is the sickest shit I've ever heard. It reminds me of like pre 9/11 2001.
They are modern day 311.
Yeah, like I fucking hate 311, but I love Cheem.
That's not. Yeah, it's the like everything about it just works because like I think they just give it so much gusto and they do their own production. And for a lot of bands, I think that's a bad move. But
they do it so well, and
everything out of the park.
And they walked me through it basically, where it's like, yeah, like we learned how to do all of this. I they played Burn Bright this weekend, and one of my friends was there, and I was having them film. And the morning of the Cheem show, he's like, I don't get Cheem really. And I'm like, you're too young, I think, maybe. Like, I was like, it's like a pre 9/11. And then after the show, legitimately texts me, Cheem is the greatest band on earth. That's the greatest live show I've ever seen.
I've done that with so many bands in the scene that now I consider friends or whatever, that I've been like, this is all right. Then you see them live and then it just clicks. You see them live and then it just clicks. And I don't know what it is. It's something about just seeing the humans behind the music, I think, helps someone like me who
makes it feel more real.
But like, I don't know. I just listen to quite a bit of music. That's just how I am.
Let me ask 2 important questions before you go. One thing,
I want to add one thing, just a quick Cheem shout out real quick. Cheem, my favorite Goblin Zone set of all time, and I had like 80
I was gonna ask. I was like, I have a third one maybe. What is the best Goblin Zone show, and what's the fucking worst one?
Yeah, the best Goblin Zone show by far. Well, there's kind of like
there was a Harrison Gordon Riley one that was
my
insane.
favorite. I'll give like 3 answers. My single favorite set was the tune set, which was it was Tequila Mockingbird. It was actually the first No Problemo show with this lineup that they have. And then Cheem and Callie Cousins, and that show was legendary. Super awesome show.
I think it's one of 2 I booked.
Yeah, Joe. I think that Pleasant Underground had given Joe, Cheem, and Callie Cousins to book, and Joe hit me up. I was like, "Hey, can we do this at your house?" And I was like, "Yeah, we'll do it." And I hit up, I think probably Dane from No Problemo. And I was like, "Hey, dude, can you guys are you guys ready to play a show with your new lineup? Because I just got fucking Cheem, and I know that Kate loves Cheem, so let's rock." I think by numbers, like the biggest show I ever did at the Goblin Zone, I will say is also that's not my least favorite. But it was the more stressful one. The like biggest one, so best like turnout, whatever, was TGZ 11, which was a local show. It was No Problemo, Dad Caps, Pet Me, and Clipboards. And it was a Palestine Children's Relief Fund fundraiser, and we raised like $1,200. That was awesome, but it did draw like 250, maybe 300 people.
In January.
Fucking terrifying. In January. It was fucking terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. I don't know why there were so many people, but I think it's just 4 really good locals.
Yeah.
But that show was like the biggest turnout. And then I think maybe the show that had the best vibes, TGZ 8 still holds a really special place in my heart. It was really early on in the lifespan. That was Tequila Mockingbird, Kerosene Heights, Clementine, and Dad Caps. Actually, no, it was the secret set was a Dad Caps versus All My Friends Are Goth Battleship.
All My Friends Are Goth is a Rams band where I was the drummer and singer in. Dane played guitar. Owen, who is now at Final Boss, I was bassist. Fucked up band, fucked up lineup. We could take a room of 20 people and turn it into 10. We could take a room of 10 people and turn it into 5. It was just fun. It was fun.
I'm now realizing really quickly, Joe, you're the motherfucker that made me ask Dane about his fat baby.
Yes.
And then he pulled out the fat baby on camera with the wife right there. And I'm like, fuck, I'm sorry for calling her baby fat.
This is not your fault. Dane would tell me, I would say, how's the baby doing? And he'd go, baby's good, still fat. For 5 months straight. And then I sent the message and he punked you. And that's some bullshit, Dane, and you know it. Dane, you didn't get this far in the interview, but you're a dick, Dane.
Dane.
You're a prick. Incredible. Oh my God, Dane. Freak, Dane. Freak.
Yeah, freak.
I stopped that band because it did permanent vocal damage to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then worst Goblin Zone.
Yes.
I think not because of any of the bands or anything, simply because of the heat. I did a show in September of, I think it was 2023, and it was like a hardcore matinee. Good bands, decent turnout, but it was 108 fucking degrees. Fucking terrible. Absolutely miserable. I busted a hose out in my driveway and started spraying people down.
Jesus. Okay.
That was the worst Goblin Zone ever.
We're hosing people down. Yeah. I mean, people are getting out of hand. You got to deal with them somehow.
Yeah, that was the worst Goblin Zone for sure. But the show itself was good. Just the heat was just unbearable.
Yeah. That good. Okay. My two questions though are, what's the Mount Rushmore right now in our general scene of emo, and who are the next 4 bands up that I and others should be on the lookout for?
I think Joe and I should give separate answers for this. Joe, you give your answer and I'll give mine, and we'll come up with different bands. Because I think Joe and I would probably name the same bands, but I think we could also name different bands.
What? So emo in general?
Right now, yeah, right now.
And does that include bands that have like debuted in the 2020s, or just like right now, just like
right now at this moment? Yeah.
And I'm not including any of the. I'm not including any of the legacy acts purely because it's like I think they occupy a completely different space because they don't interact. It's not like you're gonna see Kerosene Heights open for
fucking Bayside or something. Yeah.
No. Okay, so Hot Mulligan.
Did you see me tweet about that? What the hell?
I did. I swear, because Bayside put the thing out, and I saw like 9 people that I follow basically just be like Kerosene Heights. Yes.
Okay. We're trying. We're trying to break that glass ceiling, but it's just not gonna. If those bands, if you guys want to play to more people, one of the first times I ever saw Hot Mulligan was when they opened for Census Failed. Like maybe consider it, but like I don't know. That would mean you'd have to be tapped in, and a lot of those.
And
guys
you'd have to and same with I've said the same shit about like Warped Tour. Where I'm just like, you guys are fucking shooting yourself in the foot by not throwing Saturdays and Hot Mulligan. Like, everyone's already bought their tickets. Don't give All Time Low and Ronnie Rathke fucking $400,000. Give fucking Chance and Alan J. Franklin and Benji, give them $80 grand.
Yeah.
Save your money, and then you're set, and then you're fucking, your shit is, you're extended basically because you've given back, and like, as you're going down, those are the bands that are going to bring you up,
Yeah, it's so hard. On the Mount Rushmore thing, I think it's got to go to Hot Mulligan, the band that supposedly a Fantana writer thinks is ruining the scene. But they're the only reason I even know about underground emo, because I found
they're the big, I think they're like the Fall Out Boy right now or something.
They're ruining the genre. Who cares about like finding bands to find other bands? I would put them on there. I would put Sweet Pill on there. Mm-hmm. I think Where the Heart is straight up going to be one of those albums that people talk about forever. When it comes to the defining emo albums of the 2020s, and this will be the bands that are remembered, it's going to be You'll Be Fine, Hot Mulligan. It's going to be Where the Heart is, Sweet Pill. It's going to be the Arm's Length album, Never Before Seen, Never Seen Again. I think that's the title. I never remember it. And then It Depends. It could be Saturdays to Your Place, the Always Cloudy EP. I think is
Stop
a pretty
taking my
iconic.
bands. That's your 3. Stop taking my bands.
All right. Yeah. There you go.
Claimed Arm's Length.
Sure.
I think Arm's Length and Mulligan are like the obvious ones too right now. Like, those are like almost, they're the ones that have the best. They're maybe the only ones that have crossed into like not tapped in 35-year-olds.
Yeah, and like the thing about Arm's Length is that like I like their music. I'm not like what they do. They do it very well. And like I like it. It's just I'm not super obsessed with it, but like I get it. And every time I listen to them, I'm like, oh no, this is pretty good.
I feel the same way about both Hot Mulligan and Arm's Length, where it's like they're not my favorite, but like I appreciate these bands and I'll never dog them because I like everyone wants to hop on Hot Mulligan. It's like, okay, well, those motherfuckers are also helping.
No, Kieffer, you have to take Saturdays because my last spot is Ben Quad. I played with them, 6 people in a fucking room.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say Ben Quad, and like, Saturdays is much more intimate to my life experience.
No, you can take Saturdays.
I think, objectively speaking, that might be the 4 right now: is Mulligan, Arm's Length, Saturdays, Ben Quad.
I would agree. Kieffer, you can give your own.
What do we got?
Yeah, I would definitely. I think that's probably like objective. I think for where I'm seeing, like, if I were gonna like start working on the Mount Rushmore now, and I'm looking at like where I'm thinking projection wise, I definitely have to give credit to the Saturdays guys. They're like not hometown heroes, but like Michigan local DIY scene, like a hometown hero type story. They're just really good guys, really good buddies. I'm a lot closer to Mitch than I am to the rest of the guys, but I would
Mitch is
consider
the only
Gabe and
one I
everything.
know, and Mitch is a fucking angel. Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely consider Gabe and Esden and Tyson good friends too, but I just like me and my partner hang out with Mitch and his partner pretty often. Like they're good friends, and they're just really pushing the scene forward with like bringing on local bands.
I was gonna say,
like
and
like
putting
underground scene, like from our Michigan scene, pushing them forward and stuff.
Yep.
I think I gotta give credit to the Harrison Gordon crew too.
Yep.
I think they're pretty legendary, and they're in their own kind of pocket of emo punk. They have their own sound, their own style, and they're doing their record right now with Tyler. And I'm sure that it's gonna be pretty crazy and do some crazy things. And the Harrison crew is just really sweet. Absolutely the scariest night of my entire life was when Harrison Gordon played my house. There was probably at any given moment 5 people crowd surfing at once in my garage during the Harrison Gordon set. It was basically just like a wave of people. There was like people standing and then a second row of people on top of them crowd surfing at all times. It was fucking terrifying. But I love the Harrison Gordon crew. They're great folks. I put Kerosene Heights on there, because I think Blame It on the Weather is going to be a deeply influential album within our scene.
I think it's the yeah.
Yeah, the ripples of it are going to absolutely be felt for a really long time. I think Kerosene Heights is only going to get bigger and bigger. And they are truly the sweetest people in DIY. Absolute angels.
100%.
And I think fourth band I put on there. Yeah, it gets tough to find a fourth band after we've named the other like 4. I mean, I would probably say like,
are you counting Pool Kids as
that we said before is up there?
Pool Kids is adjacent.
Pool Kids is like a personal pick, a personal taste for me. That's like my favorite band and like active band in the world right now. So I would probably say Pool Kids deserves to be on there. Absolutely.
I'm trying to think like who else could be in that. The only other people I could think of in that spot right now, like, and I'm thinking less in terms of like bands I like and more general reach.
So
maybe like
emo
Trash
revival bands, the bands that are taking a lot of influence from Fourth Wave. And I think the flagship band from that is Trash.
Trash. I'd say Trash. Yeah.
That would be the other one that would be the core tenet to, what emo is right now.
And these the young kids really fuck with Trash hard.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
I like the second part better though. What are the 4 up and coming bands from Michigan? You said, or the scene in general?
Scene in general, but Michigan if you want. Yeah.
I'll do Michigan. Joe can do the scene in general. Michigan, there's a bunch of really sick young bands right now. The young scene is freaking hype.
Yep.
There's a band called Chow that we played a show with. We played the Pyramid Scheme in Grand Rapids with them this past Saturday.
I'm writing this shit down. Chow, like food or like the word?
CIAO.
Like
Chow.
Okay.
Like Chow.
I feel like I've seen that one pop up.
And they literally say chow, chow, chow with the English. That's very cute.
Yeah,
Sick.
absolutely fucking legendary band. A bunch of young folks in that band who were coming to the Goblin Zone for some of their first shows, seeing Dear Heretic for some of their first shows, Tequila for some of their first shows, and just really great folks. And they're definitely making really awesome classic 2000s emo post-hardcore type stuff. And then have to give big ups to the Glen kids. They're not really kids anymore. They've been in the scene for a few years now. But I always think of them as like when they first got in the scene as really young. But Glen, legendary band. Really, I think that they're just like, I think they're working on their album right now or getting ready to work on their album.
I think they are. I feel I've spoken to them briefly, and I think it was like, okay, we're waiting for it to come out.
Yeah, they're gonna have a big break in the scene. They're not so
Somebody's
emo. They're more like indie, jamish, kind of
Mhm.
verging in emo sometimes. But gotta give big love to Glenn. There's a couple bands from East Lansing we've been playing some shows with that are definitely making some waves and just doing a lot to push the scene forward and keep it growing and thriving. So I got to give a huge shout out to this band Lige, which is
Yep.
really more of a solo project from this guy Elijah, and then he has a band play with him. But it's typically the same members, so it's kind of becoming a band, which is how bands evolve and happen and stuff over time.
A bit of
Yep.
both.
And then I could name like 5 bands from East Lansing right now. Which one do I want to drop though? Maybe there's like a cool math rock group called Grassland Reptiles. They're from East
Grassland
Lansing.
Reptiles?
Grassland Reptiles,
Oh,
yeah.
Grassland.
They're
Okay,
from East
okay,
Lansing.
okay.
I think they only put music on Bandcamp. They might
Which
have
is
stuff on,
base.
they might have
That's hard
SoundCloud
as
stuff
tops.
too. But I don't
That's
think
hard
they
as
have any stuff on like paid streaming, like subscription streaming service or anything.
Okay.
But we played a show with them and they're great folks, but just real shredders. So I think
Yep.
that once they get like good eyes on them, they're gonna get some attention because it's a 2-piece and they can both shred. So
Sick.
Yep. And then for the scene in general,
Yeah.
one of the albums that rocked my fucking socks, it was right at the end of the year. This is a band called Stereosity. And
Oh, I've
they
seen that. Yeah, they're
are
touring with our dear
super
Cincinnati. Yeah.
they are super tappy. They are like technically proficient. Half the songs don't even have most of the songs don't even have choruses. Half the songs don't have lyrics. And they're just so noodly and fun. And like I grew up in like the progressive post-hardcore stuff, so I love that shit. Like
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start naming bands that I want to
I was gonna
play
say
with.
it's like a little heavier,
No, it's
first
like
day
a
back
noodle.
almost.
It's like a noodle. It's more math rock adjacent
Okay.
than it is anything else. But like, I just love noodles. So
Sick.
yeah, I love that. I think that it was fantastic. I know that they're not technically emo, but a lot of emo right now is, if you've noticed, a lot of bands are maturing and leaning more into like a post-hardcore edge to a lot of things.
Yeah.
And there's a band that is started off as some type of offshoot as Hey Alien. They're called Flyover States. They have 2 EPs out, and they are just straight up. Oh my god, it's everything you want to hear from a post-hardcore band, like raspy, like screechy vocals, and like super hard-hitting guitars, like Thursday level of punch to those guitars. Um, Great stuff. If if Summer Brews eventually, I'll know they've been around. If Summer Brews eventually doesn't become one of those gigantic bands in the scene, we've failed as a human race. We've failed. They are
They're
a band
so
that
good. It's like
they're
yeah,
so
my top
unique.
3 albums of last year. I think I decided they were that Infinity Guys was number 2. Yeah.
It's so good, and like the way that Mike writes, he is such a unique songwriter.
I find it
And
offensive. I find it offensive how like like they feel like personal attacks at times. Like when they drop "Man, I Feel Like a Dumbass," and it's like I'm only book smart if the book's about wrestling line, and like the part I think it's in Bottle episode maybe where he's talking about like tiny little kid, with his shirt off, listening to the Brainsteel on the Godzilla soundtrack. I'm just like,
yeah,
like what if something this fun could be a real job? I'm like, fuck. All right, let me go do another episode of my podcast that is somewhere in between a costly hobby and a lofty dream. Fuck. Like,
dude, it's like
like fuck.
every Mike lyric is like, inside the bathtub there's a rubber ducky, and I'm lucky that I'm ducking over all of these new things. It's like, oh my god, dude, like
You're
you
like
gotta stop doing
bars.
this to me. And things constantly are changing, and I'm ducking into the duct tape, and it's like, Jesus Christ, man.
Sick.
And dude, I don't know, for the last slot, I'm gonna do the double up because these two are 2 homies that I saw same show first time, and they both, one just put out a record last year that isn't getting enough appreciation, and one is going to soon put it out. Palette Knife and Thanks I Hate It. They're both
Oh,
so incredible.
That palette knife record is
noted.
dumb.
It's more, it's more like the Ponderosa Snake House album. It's a little grittier, it's a little tougher, and I think I enjoy that from them.
I feel like that's a band that, like, if that can get in front of more people, like that it's accessible kind of thing.
They are if there's any band that has gotten that like noodle emo stuff down to a science, it is Palette Knife. I mean, New Game Plus was an album. The first time I heard it, I even told Alec Palette Knife this to his face, so I can say this. I told him first time I heard it, I was not that impressed, and then I kept listening to it and listening to it and listening and listening to it, and then it just spiraled out of control. And that band is so calculated in what they do, whether or not it sounds super produced like New Game Plus or the new stuff where it sounds a little edgier, a little more raw. It's just so concise, it's tight, and live they are incredible. They're incredible live, so much energy.
Sick. I think we have them in a couple weeks. I haven't spoken to them yet. They're the owner of the label, Joe. Every band they have on that label is good. And if he sends me something, I'm just immediately like, I will book this before I listen to it. And then I go listen. Like Pony was another one.
Yeah, very good band.
Pony was the first one, I think it was, where I was like, oh, I assumed it was something like, I don't know, I'm not, whatever. Blah, blah. And then I like listened to it. I was like, this is the best indie rock record of the year. Holy shit! Like,
yeah, very good. I mean, there's other bands like Liquid Mike, but we said emo specifically.
Yeah.
But them and Thanks I Hate It are just such an interesting combination of like mid 2000s pop punk sensibilities and modern day emo sensibilities, and with a little bit of double bass pedal, which is really funny. But like that's another one of those bands where I think if people saw them, if they opened for a Hot Mulligan, people would be losing their mind, and I think it would work so well.
I think it would work.
Those two bands, kind of is opening for Hot Mulligan at Excellency Fest, and I will be playing guitar for Thanks I Hate It at Excellency Fest.
There we go.
We're not on it because we sold 0 tickets last year.
Well, I'm allegedly I'm trying to put together a festival right now, and I will not make you sell any tickets. And
oh my God,
I'll pay you whatever Excellency Fest pays plus $1 asterisk on that, because I might get in trouble for that. But yes,
we'd have to get out to California.
No, we're gonna do it over there. We're gonna do it somewhere closer to you. Not Michigan, but it's gonna be somewhere over. It's more middle of the country, a little closer.
Well, I think that like if you do middle of the country, like Coachella and all that stuff, like all the people just drive to it. They don't care. They're like 6 hours. I'm gone. I'm going to this fest.
Exactly. That's my thoughts. Yeah. But so like over here, we're so like, I'm in a different country over here. You know what I mean? Like whereas over, it's so much easier for you guys to get around from city to city.
It's so
over there.
tough. I feel it sucks because we're so isolated, but there are so many bands from the West Coast who are fantastic. Thanks I Hate It. I love Awake But Still in Bed. I think that they're one of those last like real emo bands that still exist, really. And then like, Aren't We Amphibians and so many bands in the Pacific Northwest too, like Swiss Army Wife and a bunch of other bands. It sucks to be disconnected from them because it's like they're so good, and every time they come over here,
fucking Rocky Mountains in our way.
Every time they come over here, they're super humble. Our goal when I play shows in Michigan, or when we see people who come in from a long ways away, is to give them a show that is worth driving halfway across the country for. And
make it worth your while.
We can do that. I think we can do that.
I think the both of you have done a good job with that. It sounds like you've cultivated a scene that has paid off, even for my show over here in California, where it's like all these I swear to God, like we've probably had 5 bands from within 50 miles of you, and that's like more than I've had of bands actually that live near me or something like that, or it's sick. I appreciate it. I think the scene around you appreciates it. Your new album comes out the day this comes out, Friday, March 13th. We'll do it the same day. Try to funnel some listeners over to you.
That's so sick. Thank you.
That's actually really sick.
Last year we had a sick run last year where it was like we had Saturdays, Summer Brews, Amphibians, and I can't remember, like, where it's like, okay, we can perfectly time these where it comes out like the same day, and it's like you can listen to the album, and then it's like, okay, you listen where we talk about it, and then you go listen to the album again. Like, It's like double promo for the band too. It's like, okay, this is a new album coming out here. Like once you're done that, like, and you're hyped, hopefully you come listen to this, and then you're gonna go listen to it again.
If you are listening to this after you listen to the album, I'm so sorry for Cold Embrace.
So that is for some of that.
That is such a brutal song. That's one of those songs that I think is genuinely gonna fuck people up. But it's about a genuine personal experience, and I had to do it. I wrote it. You know the song "Invalid Litter Department" by At the Drive-In?
Yes.
Yeah. That song impacted me so much that I was like, if I could write anything like this, because that's the most visceral scream I think I've recorded in that outro. I was like, all right, I'm doing it.
Surprised it took 120 at whatever. By this point, it's gonna be 125 episodes before someone mentions At the Drive-In more than once. I love you, Joe.
That's fucked up, man. That's fucked up. We're losing the goddamn recipes, dude. We're losing the recipes.
We are losing the recipes. We're trying to teach you, at least give them some microwave meals. So after this one, make a microwave record. Hopefully the kids can figure it out. Because this one's too deep.
God.
This one's going to fuck people up.
Oh, no. No, don't say too deep. It's going over people's heads.
No, it's too good. It's too good. Yeah, it's too good.
Oh, man.
It reminds, I'm like, what does this remind me? And I saw y'all like trying to like get that answer.
No one
just
responds.
Like, there's
no
too many. I was like, there's too many.
I'm so
See, the vocals are unique is the problem. It's usually for most people, it's like with the vocal, it's like,
Yeah, it's usually vocals. So we get compared to butt rock bands because I think that's the closest my voice.
Oh, I don't I don't like that. I don't hear that. But
I
those
don't like
butt rock
either.
records do sell. So
you think I'm happy about that?
Good luck at Rock on the Range.
When I was an acoustic act, I just got compared to the front bottoms. You think I enjoyed that? No, I did not enjoy that. But like, yeah, I don't know. We keep trying to ask people if you want to comment for the algorithm, huh?
Right? Yeah. Give us some FFO.
Yeah, please. I'm trying, man. I know the album just sounds like an autistic guy who listened to too much music. Well, guess what?
It sounds like what I would say is it sounds like a nice perfect blending of eras where it sounds like third wave emo at times. It sounds like like fifth wave if we're in sixth. It sounds like there's elements of that fourth wave in there. Like it feels like a good personal diary that's also a love letter to the fucking genre that raised y'all, Like is that there we go. Put that on the shrink wrap.
Fuck yeah, man. Put that shit on the record cover or whatever.
Right? Yeah. But thank you for joining us. I appreciate the fuck out of you. Go listen to the record.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you and what you're doing too.
Hey man, it's your boy Petty Hendrix, man. You tuned in to Emo Kid Anomalies. Check it out. It is.